On September 29, 2020, Brian Ward went missing just hours after FaceTiming his father. Brian had just asked his dad if he could hang out with his friends since he finished his homework. That was the last time Jonathan saw his son. Brian's parents, Jonathan and Lavangela, join us from their home in Washington, D.C. Hi.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you talk to us a little bit about what happened the day your son went missing?
I was coming home from work, and at that time they was doing virtual learning. And he said to me, "Pops, I'm done with my work. Is it okay for me to go out?" He FaceTimed me. He got a brother that's a year apart. There's three of them, and they usually hang out every single day, or look so much alike they call them twins. And he wasn't going out with his brother. Usually they go out at the same time. So I get a phone call around 7 p.m. and his two brothers is calling me, asking me, have I seen Brian? And I was like, no, how you guys are calling me? You guys always together. And they was like, we went out before us. So their friends told them, we seen Brian get into a block accurate, and we haven't seen him since. They said that was around 4 o'clock. So they felt like something was wrong, because usually Brian was going to call or he's going to say something.
Lavangela, can you tell us a little bit about your son?
Brian is a happy kid. He's not sad. He wasn't depressed. He wasn't lonely. He was always happy and loved to come home and eat up everything. Brian has a walk. He has a cool walk. He has a walk like no other. We could see him from a mile away. That's Brian. Brian was never disrespectful to his parents.
Never.
If we got on him, oh my goodness, Brian would just and cry. And I pray and I be like, Lord, this is the child that never disrespected us. Brian cares about people. He loves people. He will help anybody. So Brian, oh my goodness, it's really been hard.
Yeah.
It's really been hard.
I understand you're a pastor and Brian is a drummer in the church band?
Yes.
Yes.
He was playing, he used to play out drums, yes.
Yes.
It is breaking my heart because I live in this area and I've never heard of this young man.
Even with the detective, we like on the third or fourth detective that's dealing with the case, and it's so hard to deal with law enforcement when it come down to missing people, because it's almost like they just push them to the side. I actually had one to tell me that we had to push his case to the side and deal with the things that was going on at the Capitol. And then he was like, well, he's not my only case, no way. But you still have loved ones back home wondering where their loved ones at. And I said, that's hard. So we done the best we could far as trying to put it out in the, in social media and things like that. So when we heard about you guys, I was like, say no more. This is a nice platform to, to get the story out. And we forever going to be looking for him.
Yeah.
My son is not dead. My son is alive somewhere.
Right.
When you said that this is the third detective, my immediate thought was the shuffle of the paperwork and the handing of the baton probably dropping.
Yeah.
Has anyone given you street camera video or anything that would show the area, the road he was on?
Yes, they said that it was a camera at one side of the street, but it didn't reach up to where he was at.
The car has wheels. So if they didn't capture it at one part, maybe there's another way. What is so frustrating is who the onus is on. It should never be on you to try to figure out and piece together how you can be a detective in the case.
He never been in trouble.
Never.
Never been in trouble.
Never was arrested.
Anything.
The smile alone got us.
Yeah.
When we saw that picture, you can see the personality. And what breaks my heart as a parent, the picture that you took, who would ever know that this would be what it was for and used for next?
Yeah.
I really regret taking that picture.
I don't.
Because because I'm like, is this gonna be my last picture? These are the thoughts that come to my mind now. Brian used to wear his hair long in that picture right there.
Yeah, just got a haircut.
His mother was still at work. I said, let me take a picture of that, man. I got to show your mother. She's gonna be so happy.
I was.
And that's where he just lit up smiling. So I took like 3 angles, one on both sides, and one. So he was smiling like he knew that we was like, come on, man, you getting outraged with that hair now. But you know, that's what the youngest do.
Yeah.
That's what the youngest do. So it's like, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story today. If you have any information about Brian Ward, please call the number on your screen. We are sending you our prayers, and we're hoping that he comes home. Yeah, and that this helps.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Yes.
Thank you.
I believe it will.
Thank you. I was just thinking about how it's so awful to have to say that your black son has never been in trouble in order to bring that sense of value.
Yeah.
Right. Just why would you ever have to? I mean, and we know why.
Yeah.
You have to say that, right?
Yeah.
We know why. He's a good kid.
Right.
And having to,
he's not going to cause you trouble.
Right.
He's not the black
right
man you got to be concerned about. Right. You know, it's like, it's just, wow.
Just those words. You can feel the imploring as a parent to please know that he means something. This is someone's child.
Yeah.
And did anyone else have a visceral reaction of, we had to prioritize the Capitol insurrection?
Yeah.
The resources that are devoted away from cases like this.
Yeah.
And no one would doubt that's a worthwhile pursuit.
Yeah.
But just look at the stretching of the resources, which is why this is so important.
Right.
To be able to pick up where others put it down.
The parents have to be the advocate to
Right.
like stay on the police force, but then you worry about becoming a nuisance and
be a
being
nuisance.
annoying,
Then you
and
gotta be a
how that
nuisance.
affects law enforcement too, because then they're like, oh, they're calling again.
Yep,
Like,
yep, that's
tell
right.
them I can't talk or whatever.
That's
you know,
fine,
whatever
then guess
that
what? I'll
response
be
is.
at the door at your
Yeah.
office waiting for you and knocking on your door.
Yeah.
Closed mouths don't get fed.
Yes.
You got to keep calling and keep trying and keep going, but you need help. The worst part about it is somebody saw something.
That's right.
Yeah.
I wonder about the people who are so fearful. This was an issue we used to have all the time in law enforcement, which was this no snitch mentality.
Oh,
I can't tell you how angry and
Yeah.
disgusted I am with the no snitch mentality. It drives me crazy. I understand there's this philosophy about being the so-called rat.
It's a code. Yeah.
There's a code, but there's also a funeral.
Yeah.
There's also a mother who wants her child back.
That's right.
There's a father looking for his son. Does that really override your philosophy
Right.
about what
That's
you,
right.
how you want to be assisting the police?
Yeah.
If you're afraid of that, tell the cops anonymously.
Right.
Give them an inkling, a lead, or give them a way to find the information independently. You can get things like immunity. It's never too late. You don't get in more trouble the longer it takes you when you wait a little bit to tell the cops. Say it anyway, because at some point you're going to need somebody with a functioning mouth
is gonna
who's
need
willing
to-
to say it.
Right.
And you want to beg people to snitch about how to help your family. So why not let it be you?
Right. Yeah.
It takes a village to
It
raise a child.
does.
It takes a village to
Find a
one.
child.
It
That's
takes
so-
the world to find
It takes
one.
the world to find one.
Yeah, it
And
does.
sometimes only one person with the eyes to see
it
and say it.
Yep. We contacted the Metropolitan Police Department about Brian's case, and here's what they said.